Well, howdy folks. Hey, thanks for joining me. Appreciate you tuning back in. I'm going to do another how-to video today. Now keep in mind that my how-tos, as you may see if you keep up with them, I really don't know how to. I'm just learning as I go, so hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes. And on my last video, if you watched it, if you didn't, I'll put it right up here. You can link to it after you watch this video. If you need to put a flow right remote drain plug in your boat, you can watch that one. So I did that, but I was going to go fishing and I was leaving early in the morning while it was dark, and I noticed that my tail lights on my trailer didn't work and I couldn't figure out why. So I did a lot of troubleshooting on the trailer. I bought some different lights for the trailer thinking that was it. Let me give you a quick pro tip. If you're having light issues on your trailer and you have another vehicle or two in the driveway that you can plug into, do that first. Because I did all this troubleshooting, checked the wiring, redid the plug on the trailer, just checked all that stuff out, and then I plugged it in my other vehicles and it works fine. So I know it's not the trailer, it's something in my truck. I'm thinking it might be the plug on my truck, and I'll tell you why I think that. Because in the past, when I would plug my 7-pin adapter in, I noticed that there were times that my lights wouldn't work, and when I would do this, then I could get them to work. But I could never get my tail lights to work. So as early as I leave sometimes for fishing, I want to make sure that's working. So I bought, this is actually the OEM part for Ford. You can see it's basically the same thing that I got. So for some troubleshooting, I'm going to take this piece off and put this one on and see if that takes care of it. If it doesn't, it also came with the wiring harness right here. The thing with this wiring harness includes all of these backup sensors. And if I can keep from changing those, I'm going to, but if I need to, I have it. So the first thing I'm going to do is replace this. So I was looking on YouTube as usual, because that's what I usually do. And there were some videos changing that. Now you absolutely would not have to use an OEM part. I'll leave the part number in the description below in case you need this exact part. And I did get it on eBay. It was the more inexpensive place to get it. Still expensive though. Obviously you can probably go to Ford and get it, or wherever you need to go. But I did decide to go that route. You would not have to go OEM on this if you didn't want to. You could buy a generic one and wire it in, but I like plug and play. I like to keep things as simple as I can because it's difficult enough as it is, especially for guys like me. I don't do truck electrical, or any vehicle electrical for that matter. I can't stand electrical in vehicles. I don't mind doing it so much in the house, but I don't like it in vehicles. It's just, I don't know. Maybe you love it. I'm just not good at it. So we're going to try to change this out here. I'm going to try to get some good shots inside, because that's where I was having the problem, trying to figure out how to take this stuff apart. I couldn't find videos on YouTube, but I'm definitely a video guy and I like to see it. So I'm going to try to get that good for you. So if you have to tackle this, you'll at least know what's going on underneath. So we're going to get down on the ground. Ugh, I don't like getting down on the ground. Last time I backed in the yard to work on the boat. This time I'm just going to keep it right here on the concrete, and we'll go that route. And I'm going to get down there and we'll see what we can find. So here is the back side of the plug. It's got those silver clips on it holding that in. It's also got this part right here. And that part, I don't know if I can get to it up here at the top, if you can see that right there. So right there is a clip that you can push down on, and we should be able to unplug that once we push down on it. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, that clip is broken. But there it is. So there's that plug there. There's the inside of that one that you can't see very well. That is full of crud. And that could be my problem. It could just be these contacts. Yeah, they're pretty corroded. I could probably get by with just cleaning those contacts off, but I'm not going to do that since I have the part. I'm going to use the part. I probably will clean these contacts just because if I can keep from replacing this piece, I will. Because, as you can see up in there, it's tied into all of that wiring, and it goes back. It's tied in there, and it goes back all the way back up in here somewhere right there. And if I don't have to change all that, I'm not going to. So I'm going to clean these contacts, replace this piece, and see if that takes care of it. So these clips right here should spring up. See if I can do it here. I'm going to put the camera down again. We will see, but I should be able to push this. Yep, just like that. So you got that one, and then you got one on top that you also have to push. And we should be able to push that out of there. As you can see, the bottom of my truck is really rusty. Man, I didn't know that when I bought it because I was an idiot and didn't look underneath. It's got to be that way. Yeah, I think it's moving now. Yep, there it goes. Okay. All right. There's that piece out of there. There's those clips right there. They spring to clip into here. So I decided to do a temporary hookup here just to see if that would take care of the issue, and it does not. So I'm going to change that whole complete harness. I didn't want to do that, and I hope that takes care of it. So if I didn't mention it before, my issue is all my lights work with the exception of the tail lights. That's it. And I know the tail light pin is down here. It's probably that blue wire, maybe, but tracing this back, I don't know. I'm just going to change the harness and we're going to go from there. So here we go. So good news, bad news. I thought that was connected all the way back up in here, but it's actually connected here. Bad news is it's right on top of this frame piece and right up there, and rust keeps falling in my eyes because my truck is so rusty. And in my mouth. And I can't see the clip. You just can't see anything there. So I have an issue. I can't get to that bolt on that ground wire. I'm just going to snip that wire and splice it. I can't get up over the top of that frame. Maybe if I took the spare tire off, but I don't really want to do that. As you can see how rusty it is. I hope I never need that because I don't think that's coming off. So anyway, I'm going to splice the new ground wire right onto that one. I shouldn't have a ground issue because everything works except the tail lights. So I think if I had a ground issue, none of the other lights would work either. So I got to get all of these backup sensors disconnected, and then I should be able to get this harness off of here. So I'm just going to let you know what I'm doing here. These clips for the backup sensors, I can't get them to unclip. So I've actually just been putting my knife in there and breaking that tab. For one thing, look up here, you can't even see them, and it's back on this side behind that. Can't see them, can't get to them. So I'm actually just breaking those since I know I have new ones anyway. See, I got another one right back up in there, and I got to get to that. I'm doing it blindly with my knife and just feeling where I need to put it to break it. So Hopefully I don't cut my finger off, but I've almost got everything loose. So I'll be pulling this out here in just a second. So as you can see here, I got the old wiring harness out. Now, quick tip, make sure that you pay close attention to how you run the new one. In there is other wiring, so you want to make sure you get it ran around other wires correctly, so you're not needing to disconnect and run them again. So the new harness does have the body clips to hold this to the frame. The old ones, they do make a tool for this. I don't have one, so I just took my cutters and cut those, and now I got to put it all back together. So I'm going to run this wire through there, get everything wired up, and then we'll see if it works. If you end up splicing a wire like I'm doing, and it's under here, and you can tell that this gets wet and dirty and gross, make sure and use a good connector. I have, these are actually marine grade connectors, and they got, not only is it heat shrink, but it has an adhesive inside, so when you do heat shrink it to the wire, it seals it. You want to make sure you get a good seal. Okay, so I temporarily plugged that in. I got that all wired in, got all my sensors hooked back up, got that plugged in, and right now I don't have the lights on. This is how it normally is, nothing. So I'm going to turn my lights on. Oh, and looky there, I got a side light. I never had that before, so I bet we're good. Looky there, tail lights. I got tail lights. Nice. I'm glad it wasn't something on up in there, because I never would have figured that out. Okay, that wasn't fun. I had the hardest time with the ground wire. I could have found just another spot on the frame, I guess, and put that screw in, but can't get up in there. And it would be easier if you lower the spare tire. I didn't want to do that because it's so rusted. I was afraid I wouldn't get it down. If I did get it down, I was afraid I wouldn't get it back up. But hey, I got tail lights. So hey, I appreciate you watching. I pray that God blesses you, and I hope you have a great day.